What's going on, Wolves and Warriors? My name's Jase Stewart, and this is the Better Body Academy podcast, the #1 show for those looking to permanently overhaul their mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. We banish the fitness industry BS and replace it with science-backed strategies proven through countless client transformations. In the Better Body Academy, we help busy men and women around the world get unstuck and back into momentum so they start feeling strong and sexy again. Our mission is to transform 1 million lives, and you, my friend, could be next. And on that note, let's get straight into today's show. So for Monday Mindset, one reason we keep on failing, all right? Today, we're going to have a conversation about failure and why it keeps happening to most people. This live is hopefully going to open up your mind to perhaps some of the habits, or one of the habits specifically that you might have formed over the years. And if so, this might be enough to get you to change this specific habit. And that's the goal here. See, here's the thing. I've come to realize that over the last few years of coaching, you can often be told something a million times by someone else, right? They can say to you, you need to do this, 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 you need to do this. And you don't listen, okay? But then all of a sudden, you realize it consciously yourself and you become aware, and then the penny drops and you go, right, I need to change this thing. And then everyone around you, including your coach, says, I've been telling you to do that for the whole time. Hopefully this live will help to shine the light on perhaps the reason, or one of the reasons, that you've repeatedly failed. And by doing this and giving you the tools over a period of time, it's going to help you to change things. Now, my belief is that this game of transformation, guys, it is won in the head, okay? Yes, you've got to go to the gym, of course. Yes, you've got to work out. Yes, you've got to do some cardio. Yes, you've got to track your nutrition. But even when you're in the gym, as an example, and you're going to war with your body, right? It's usually our head noise that gets in the way of us tapping on our real potential. Dave Goggins talks about this as the 40% rule, okay? For those of you that know Dave Goggins, he's basically this crazy motherfucker that does all these runs. He was an ex-Army SEAL. Look him up. His point is, he basically says, when you think that you are ready to fall over and die, you're only about 40% there, okay? And so what happens here is we get caught in our own head. We say things like, oh, that'll do, or, oh, man, I'm tired, or, man, this shit's hard. And when we think about the reasons that we actually do that, like, why would that be? Why do we vocalize those things? I think it's that we're trying to create some sympathy for ourselves when we know that our commitment is not where it should be. But what we don't realize is that mentality dictates our reality. Guys, if you watching live or you catching up on replay later on, I want you to throw that in the comments, because when you write it down, it goes in twice. Our mentality dictates our reality. In other words, we become what we think about all the time. And if most of the time, all we are doing is complaining about the work that's required to be successful, we're subconsciously resisting and working against ourselves. So what do you complain about? I want you to think about maybe over the course of the last week, okay? Over the course of the last week, what things have you complained about that might relate to your transformation? Oh, man, this 10,000 steps thing, it's hard. Oh, damn, tracking nutrition sucks ass. Man, I hate doing these fucking check-ins. Oh, this meal prep for work, this sucks. Oh, I have to go and watch these trainings and I don't feel like it. Or my personal favorite is, I don't like posting in the Facebook group. Okay, so by the way, that last one is utter horse shit. Actually, what the problem is here is you're basically just not willing to be accountable. That's the problem, right? The fact that you are, an extrovert or an introvert, or you like Facebook or you don't like Facebook, is actually quite irrelevant. If you're accountable, you'll get into the group and document your process. Now, all of these things that I just talked about here, They are all hard if you keep saying that they're hard. The man or woman that thinks he can and the man that thinks he can't, or the woman that thinks she can't, are both right. So you've got to work out which one you're going to convince yourself of. You've got to get very good at overcoming the resistance that you have to take the actions that you need to take. Now, I'll give you an example, okay? It's 10:30 here on a Sunday night. I've had 2 glasses of wine and a delicious feed that I posted into the group that Cord's cooked or prepared, right? I'd rather be in bed. I'd rather be sitting down doing Netflix. I had all the resistance in the world to preparing this live, thinking things like, the guys won't mind, or, oh, mate, you deserve a break, trying to create sympathy for myself. But it's not about anyone else. It's about me being honest about the importance of showing up and giving value, knowing that if this helps just one of you guys, then that's a perfect investment of my time. So I want to plant a big idea, okay? What if you started smiling because you got to do these things? What if you started smiling because you got to do these things? Track your nutrition, do your check-ins, get involved in the Facebook group, go into the gym. I remember that Coach Cordia did a live on this about 3 to 6 months ago. I can't remember exactly how when. But if you started seeing these things as a privilege rather than complaining about them, how would that change the lens of which you're looking at it through? And why wouldn't you embrace the process? If you step back from the forest here to see the trees, the things that you're complaining about are the little steps in the process that are taking you in the direction of your dreams. Like, think about that. The things that you're complaining about are the things that are taking you 1% closer each day to your dream reality, to look and feel a certain way. Like, of course there's fucking sacrifice. What's that worth? What's happening here, actually, guys, I want you to think about this, is there's a clash between your new and your old identity. The new wants to level up and push through the resistance. The new wants to be untethered. The new you knows your potential, but the old you wants to stay stuck. And I want you to think of these complaints as statements of negative affirmation. So everyone in the Better Body Academy learns through the guides that we know about positive affirmation and affirming the type of outcomes and actions that you want. But when you're complaining, it's actually a negative affirmation, affirming negativity and self-doubt into your mind. And the reality is, you chose to level up your life. You chose to start this transformation. So stop complaining about the actions or the work that needs to be done. If you are trying to lose weight, particularly, you should be in a calorie deficit. It's the only way to lose fat. And by the very nature of this fact, guys and girls, that means that you will be tired because you're intentionally running out of petrol. Does everyone get that? Like, give me a silent head nod if you understand that. If you are trying to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And if you're in a calorie deficit, you're purposely trying to run out of petrol, which basically means that you're going to be tired a lot of the time. So actually, the running out of petrol that causes the fat loss is the thing that you should be thankful of, because that tiredness is causing the fat loss. But we complain about how sore we are in the gym. That's weakness leaving the body. We complain about how we can't fit everything in and we need to schedule our time better. Good. That's precisely what we need to do. We complain often subconsciously about the cost of investing in a coaching program. Like, good. That coaching program, especially if it's this program, is going to be the thing that's going to help you save your life. Living healthier, happier, with more energy, more abundance. Why do we complain about these things? You chose to do the transformation because you were unhappy with your current state. So stop complaining. It's not helping you. The negative chat is weaponizing you against you. I'm going to say that again because that is poetic as fuck in my opinion. The negative chat is weaponizing you against you. So we need to stop. There's a simple rule. Just shut up. Something very interesting or crazy, whatever you want to put it, was happening as I prepared for this live. I remember back to an episode of, and our last mastermind group should remember this because I played the episode. I wanted to pull a stat that I heard in an episode of Impact Theory, which was my favorite podcast, video podcast, YouTube podcast. It's between the guy that invented Quest bars, Tom Bilyeu, and a guy who is a mental conditioning coach named Trevor Moed. Okay. He was involved in a bunch of research about the power of verbalizing negative stuff. Check this out. If someone says something out loud, it is 10 times more powerful than if they just think it. I'm going to say that again. If someone verbalizes something out loud, it is 10 times more powerful than if they just think it. Now, in addition to that, negativity is as a multiple 4 to 7 times more powerful than positivity in terms of its ability to impact upon your life. Now, if you know anything about basic probability from school, the probability of something happening, when you've got two probabilities, you basically times them, and that's the ultimate probability of this thing happening. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Saying something negative out loud makes it 40 to 70 times more likely to happen than if you just shut your mouth. And the point that he raises in this episode of Impact Theory is to say that to do affirmations and visualizations is really quite a skill. To meditate is quite a skill. You can improve your life massively by just shutting your mouth and not complaining about the work that needs to be done. Because the moment you open it up to a negative thought, that outcome is 40 to 70 times more likely to happen because it's negative and because you verbalized it. Like, this is coming from a Harvard sports coach, by the way. The crazy bit about that is when I went in to actually grab the clip so I could get the figures, this guy, Trevor Moed, he actually died of cancer 2 days ago at 48 years old. I was quite shocked because he's a leader in this industry. And it made me really think on a side note about two things. Number one, having gratitude and not looking at these things of negative. So it almost endorsed this live. But the second thing about it is, like, what kind of legacy are we actually leaving behind? Like, I'm looking at the video of a guy who has now passed. He's left a legacy. Everything that we do now, we're leaving a legacy for our kids, for our family, for other people. Maybe I'll come back to that on a different podcast or a live. But we want to stop feeling shit. We want to stop looking a certain way. We need to stop complaining and embrace the process. Guys, in fact, the process is everything. If your goal this week is to lose weight, now there's a reason that I'm doing this on obviously a Monday morning. If your goal is to lose weight, you're focused on an outcome. Does that make sense? You're focused on an outcome. I want you to stop worrying about weight loss and start putting all of your focus this week on process, because the process is everything. If you're focusing on the outcome, like weight loss, you're a slave to the scales and things that you can't control. You can control the process. Studying the guides, getting your reps in, tracking your nutrition, doing your check-ins, documenting your process inside of the Facebook Academy. That is sticking to the process. Committing to the process that's worked with over 500 transformations is what will bring you results. And guess what happens, guys? When you find proof that that process works for yourself, you start to fall in love with the process because it's something that you actually can control. If you have a love-hate relationship with your weight or the scales, that's because it's something that you can't control. You can control the process, your attitude in the execution that you take in the process. You can't control outcomes. You can control the process. Your transformation becomes complete when you become the process. When you get up early in the morning because that's you now, because you love it. When you eat healthy foods because that's you and you love eating healthy foods. When you don't get pissed 3 or 4 or 5 nights a week because you love feeling good. When you document into the journey because you love being accountable and you love inspiring other people. When COVID strikes like right now and you fucking hate the fact that you're locked down and you can't get in the gym, you're angry because you love the process of going to the gym. So you find a way, like the dumbbell domination program that we created, to try to still get that love of the process in. This is when you become successful permanently. So guys, as we bring this one to an end, this week, I want you to really, really focus on this idea of being mindful of the complaining language and stop it. The moment you catch it, stop it. You chose to do this program because you felt shit about some part of your life. And you have everything to gain as the direct beneficiary of feeling awesome again when you transform or as you transform. So really this complaining is just verbal diarrhea that doesn't help anyone. Start focusing on the process. Guys like John Timmons, Liam Pinder, Andy Hewitt, Chris Lamond, these guys, girls like Linda Janes, Carly Stewart, Carolyn Hyland, Trish Hewitt, these girls, they love the process. They still have self-doubt from time to time, but they stick to the process because the process works, and that's what you should do too. So rather than complain about the process, guys, instead be mindful of the negative chatter, cut it off as you become aware of it, and just realize that sometimes you're not going to be motivated to do the process, and that is completely fine as long as you are disciplined to follow through. Guys, I hope this video hits a mark and gives you some takeaways this morning. I'll see you throughout this week. Have a beautiful, beautiful start to the week. Let's fucking get it. Wolves and Warriors, thank you so much for tuning in. If this podcast is hitting the mark for you and giving you the confidence to start your own personal journey, I want you to hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at JStewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy. I want to give you the tools to permanently overhaul your mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Our mission is to achieve 1 million lives transformed. And you, my friend, could be next. So hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at JStewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy, and we can have a chat about whether we can help you with your transformation goals.